distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. Among other things that I do, one thing I do is distribute Prabhupada's books every weekend. And I feel so blessed. There's a few of us that do this around the Rockefeller Center area. And we have manifold, wonderful experiences every day when we do this. It's really remarkable. So just a few things, because you distribute a book just like you talk to somebody, you preach to someone, you share your realizations. You don't really know where it goes. You don't really know what is the effect. You know that it has an effect, but you're not really sure how. So a couple of years back, we used to buy 50% of our books from the BBT and 50% from Krishna Books, Inc. because they had a special going on at the time, and they printed high-quality versions of Prabhupada's books. So there's one devotee that was printing those books. His name is Vedaguya. He's a very serious person, very sober, he doesn't laugh, he doesn't joke around very much. So one day I received a call from him, and he was left a message, "But Ryan, you gotta call me back, the most amazing thing happened." I was like, wow, this doesn't sound like the Vedaguya that I know. He's always very proper and very grumpy sometimes. So I called him back. I said, "Veda, what's up? What happened?" He said, "You can't believe what happened. I'm getting my hair cut in California, and I go to the same place to get my hair cut. And next to me, there's a guy. He's getting his hair cut, and he's speaking to the guy that's the barber, and he's talking about his trip to New York. He's just had this trip to New York, and the barber was going, so what was the most far out thing that happened in New York?" He said, "Well, I met this guy at Rockefeller Center," and he said he had me in stitches. He was very funny. And then he got me to chant these mantras, and he gave me one of these books. And I've been reading this book, and it's been shifting my whole perspective on my life. And he goes on describing the book. He's just preaching about the book to this guy. And the guy, so the barber's going, so what's, and Vedaguya's right next door in the next chair listening. So his hairs are standing on end. He's telling me, I can't believe this. So the guy can't remember the name of the book. So Vedaguya, he jumps in, he goes, "Was the name Beyond Birth and Death?" He goes, "That's it, Beyond Birth and Death." So he said, "Well, what was the guy like?" He described the person. It was me. And he said, "I print those books. I print those books." So they had this conversation. The guy went on to explain to him how the book has changed his life, and he's becoming a very serious practitioner of Krishna consciousness. So this is the most amazing experience is that he got one of Prabhupada's books that changed his life. How many in this room have got Prabhupada's books before coming to Prabhupada's movement? Show of hands. So, we're all testament to that. So, of course, for Vedaguya, it was quite amazing. He saw the fruits of his publishing. Of course, now we're just using BBT books, but that's another story. But I'm not political, but so recently I was at Rockefeller Center also, and two girls approached me. Just out of the blue, one of them said, she just came right up to me and she said, "So if you could be anything or anyone in your next lifetime, who or what would you be?" I was like, wow, pretty philosophical. So I didn't think to ask her why you asked me this. I just thought for a moment, and I said, I would want to be a pure devotee in my next lifetime, whatever situation. So of course, I don't really live like that, but somehow or another that came to me. And she said, 1 year ago, exactly on this week, you asked me that exact same question, and you gave me one of those books. And I said, "Really?" I said, "You sure it was me?" She said, "Oh, definitely it was you." I said, "So what effect did it have?" She said, "It changed my life. I'm living my life completely differently now. I'm chanting Hare Krishna." Anyway, she went on to explain. So it wasn't me. I gave Prabhupada's books out. So I'll give you two other quick ones. But this is the effect of Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada, he went to bed about 10 o'clock every night. He got up at 1 in the morning. I mean, who of us is doing like that? Every day, wherever he was, getting up in the middle of the night, translating these books. It's inhuman. It's superhuman. Superhuman. So, inhuman in the sense that a human being could not do this, an ordinary human being. So, two other real quick ones. I met this other couple, and I did my thing with them. They were chanting, I get everybody to chant a mantra. And about a month later, I get a call from Gunagrahi Maharaj. You all know Gunagrahi Swami? Very wonderful devotee, disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And he said, Bhattarayan, I said, I got a call from my brother the other day. I've been just trying to understand, I've been trying to preach to him for over 20 years. He's never read any of Prabhupada's books, been very inimical. And he said he met this guy at Rockefeller Center. And he said he was just like, he had me chanting, and I was like jumping up and down, and then he gave me this book, and I've been reading this book, and I'm like, wow, this is what you're into, this is amazing. He said, what did you do? I said, I don't know, I just gave him Prabhupada's book. You know? So he's become very, very favorable to Krishna consciousness. So this is the effect of Prabhupada's books. I also, the last anecdote, which is kind of cute, but I don't want to give any ideas to the brahmacharis here. I met my wife distributing books. Now, we didn't realize that till I was a brahmachari living in the Denver temple. I was going out and distributing big books in the airport in Shaved Head and Dhoti. And every day I was like in the uber sincere mode. I would get up very early and I would channel my rounds and clean the bathrooms and take a shower, then clean the temple room, and then go out in Sankirtan. And I would like intensely pray to all of the invocation of the Bhagavad Gita, intensely pray to the six Goswamis for empowerment, and I was always trying to take shelter like that of the Srila Prabhupada, the predecessor acharyas, to distribute his books. So I was in like this, you know, super sincere, kind of fanatically sincere mode, but still sincere. So evidently, after my wife and I were married for some time, she recounted this incident in the Denver airport where she was coming down the escalator and she met this kind of wild-eyed Hare Krishna devotee in the shaved head and dhoti, and please, take this book, it will change your life. And she said she politely dismissed me. But she said, I thought he was very sincere, but she touched Prabhupada's book. And later she became a great devotee. So I'm very grateful for that. And so whatever we're doing, somehow or another, that somehow we can give people the gift of these transcendental literatures. As Prabhupada said, there's no way that we can repay the debt to our spiritual master. He said this in Los Angeles in 1976. He said, but if you want to try, then you should preach vigorously as I've done. Like that. So that's directed to everyone, irregardless of whatever we may be doing, we can follow this example.